Fuck you, Joshua. So let's talk New Vegas, an RPG that everyone loves. For those who don't know, it's a third person, first person, murder simulator, dictator killing, old man killing, great RPG. And I can definitely say it is a great RPG because of the special parameter. The special parameter allows you to approach many quests from different angles. This means that some options of the quests can be locked by a special parameter. And if you don't meet the minimum skill requirement, then fuck you, you can't choose this option. Here's an example.
And on
What would you do if you find yourself against an overwhelming opponent?
say who
You can convince him with the speech check to back off. But however, here I forgot to take drugs and read a magazine to boost my speech.
and how
So now I'm fucking dead.
battles are lost. Your words have done nothing but delay the inevitable. Now, I death to profligates.
And he fucking chops my dick off. Did you know that you can complete the main storyline in 3 different options? The 3 major factions offer these quest lines. Did you know that you have the option to kill the leaders of all 3 major factions, as shown earlier with the 2 old men and the president of the NCR? This can then open another option to you, freeing yourself from their control and forming your own faction as an independent New Vegas. I consider New Vegas as a great game as it gives justice to the role-playing genre because your choices feel like they have impact. One small action can affect the outcome, like letting people survive, destroying a whole town because you randomly murdered an old man who is actually their benevolent leader. You can't finish a quest because there is something so horrific and terrifying like death claws or girls who you can't speak to in both in-game and in real life. And this is complemented by having multiple approaches to most quests. I was hoping that the amount of freedom and depth of the base game can be translated over to this DLC. So, quick background. Jed Masterson, the Happy Trails Caravan Master, wants us to go to New Canaan and get some money. And along the way, we can form a trade route with those bald-headed, uncivilized fucks in the Zion Canyon. And yeah, the Happy Trails Caravan is basically full of uninteresting and boring people.
Turns out Caesar's first war chief, the Malpace Legate, was a New Canaanite, Joshua Graham. Legend goes that Graham was the meanest, toughest son of a bitch in the whole damn legion. The New Canaanites wouldn't talk about him. They were ashamed. Guess I can't blame them. Well, at Hoover Dam, the Malpace Legate finally met his match. Hanlon and Oliver kicked his New Canaanite butt right back over the river. Caesar had to make an example for the others, to show them that even at the highest level, failure wouldn't be tolerated. He had Graham covered in pitch, lit on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon. People say he didn't even scream on the way down. Not long after, some of the slaves and tribals started to talk. Said Graham wasn't dead. Shouldn't have been any surprise. All this talk bothered Caesar, so he forbade anyone from speaking his name. Wanted to erase Joshua Graham from history. He got his wish. Joshua Graham disappeared, and in his place came legends of the burned man walking the wastes. Probably just a tribal ghost story. But New Canaan's been silent for a long time. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the Malpace Legate is dead. Or maybe Joshua Graham did crawl out of that canyon and finally found his way back home.
Trail ahead worries me, Jed. Those descents we made through that slot canyon back up there. Ain't no way we're getting back out the way we come. And then what?
God damn it, Stella heard you the first time. And the 15th, too. The new Canaanites will know a way. And if they don't, we've got the maps on our friend's Pip-Boy over there. Enough lollygagging. Get moving. And keep an eye out for tribals.
Yeah, this interaction is just here to say that you've got no way back. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on by just because I already know this is scripted. Actually, this part is the most memorable for me because I know I can do nothing to save them because it's all fucking scripted. Well, let's just get this, do everything, and go on back. Then we'll encounter one of the, what do you call this?
Hoi,
Horse tram? I don't
what
know.
you doing?
Fucking
Wait,
this fucking
you came
retarded
from
name
outside, didn't
follows chalk.
Joshua Graham.
Then we get the fucking surprise that Joshua, what the fuck? How did that hit me? He's so far away. But yeah, basically we got the surprise that Joshua is in Zion Canyon. Oh god, there's gonna be a lot of walking, isn't there?
Nice view of the river.
Oh, you're even saying it.
Please.
But yeah, this looks good. Explosive. Fucking. What the fuck was that? Then there's just gonna be a lot of walking until we reach your tribe. Skip. Huh? What? What? How did that activate? Was I looking too long? Okay. Oh, you have finally
Hoi.
arrived.
Auslander Zook,
What's wrong with you people?
show respect.
There really is something wrong with you guys. Drink too much radioactive water, buddy. Are every single one of you guys like this? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Can't get out your words, man.
We should have given you a better welcome on your first visit.
Ah, the man, the myth, the legend.
The Whitelegs beat us.
Joshua Graham, the burnt
Whitelegs seem
steak.
to be the only visitors we have these days.
I mean, Joshua Graham has good character design and background, so he's
have
not a
bad
burnt
news for
character,
your
he's a well-done
employers.
character.
New Canaan was destroyed, its citizens scattered. All because of the Whitelegs. And Caesar, of course. The Whitelegs want to join the Legion. Caesar's rite of passage is the destruction of the New Canaanites. Almost assuredly because of me. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Daniel, one of the other New Canaanites, has made many maps of the region. The bad news is that we can't help you right now. Not with everything that's going on.
Long story short, what Joshua just said was New Canaan is destroyed and its citizens was scattered and he can't help us go back because he has to fight this war. What an asshole.
Zion from the south. You descended by routes that you cannot safely ascend to return to the Mojave. I'm not telling you this as a trick. Whether you want to help us or not, you can't get back without Daniel's assistance. I'm sure he'll be willing to assist you, but we have other responsibilities at the moment.
Okay, asshole. I'll be your fucking errand
You're a
boy,
good
you
neighbor to us.
motherfucker.
Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside.
Oh, and he gave us nothing but fetch
We are
quests.
responsible for leading and protecting the
How
sorrows and dead horses.
Jesus.
They are smart people, but not as worldly as you or I. I am preparing the dead horses for war, and Daniel is preparing the sorrows for other things. Thank you. He's inexperienced, but he knows enough of our language to ignore the taboos about pre-war buildings.
God, let's just get out of here. I told him that I killed his former employer who had a bigger and stronger
I
army.
have to admit,
Yet
it's hard
he
to
didn't even
believe
flinch.
that even after all he did to me, all he tried to do to find and erase me from this world, he went first. No doubt this will be good for the Mojave. I can only hope Arizona and the tribes don't suffer as the Legion falls apart around them.
They could have given us an option to have a speech check to convince him to lead us to Daniel early on, so that we can bypass the boring fetch quests. What's worse is, even if you can bypass the fetch quests, the travel is so boring. You just go to Daniel's camp and just kill enemies on the way without anything happening. There's no events whatsoever, unique or scripted. Oh god. All we've been doing is walking. There's nothing interesting happening in between. This land is so fucking barren, but it looks so beautiful. Oh my god. Oh, we have to montage this shit.
I sucked another day.
Would you guys consider jacking off to be a sport? I don't know about you motherfuckers, but I
To the town of Albuquerque rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive.
Nice, nice. Just a little more. Just a little to the side. Come on. Let me adjust. There. Any side comments, Gordon?
Delicious. Finally. Some good fucking food. flexible body, semi-firm breasts, and it's so easy to cream in literally minutes.
Thank you, Gordon, for that detailed commentary. Thank God you're here. Get me out of the
dead horses
canyon.
told me details
Let
about
me
the
off
attack
from
on the
this shitty
caravan.
DLC.
The sorrows will mourn your friends too.
Come
Well, I'll
on,
be.
just give me the
I was
map.
starting to lose hope
I'll
we'd
give
be
you
able
the
to get any of this,
supplies.
much less all of it. Letting go of a taboo is difficult for them. These supplies are a godsend. But if we're going to evacuate Zion without droid, specifically, I need you to scout out some locations for Whitelegs and try to recover a map of Grand Staircase, a wilderness area to the east. There's also the matter of the
Another
roads.
fetch
We're going to be
quest.
heading out of the east side of the park.
Nice. Very nice. Come on, just give
You better
me the
listen
map
close
and
because
let
I'm
me
not
out
going
of
to
here
repeat myself.
so you can go on
You were
your
not
boring ass
invited here.
storyline.
This is not your home. We have what you might call a compulsion to help you on account of our beliefs. But if you continue to spit in our eye with insults and you'll find out what happens when our patience wears out. Us. One of the sorrows, Waking
Are
Cloud,
you
will
and
go with
Joshua
you.
just assholes,
She
or
knows how
are
to get
all
around the
you
valley unseen.
Canaanites assholes?
She's also a
I don't
midwife
get
and
it.
has 3 kids
What's
of her
with
own.
your with us or against us ideology? This tribe idolizes you? Wow. I think I'm gonna need to cleanse this canyon. The last one was Daniel, and I attacked him while he was sleeping, and something interesting happened. Oh, what's in here? Nice, it's the map. Oh, we can get out. We can go out of this DLC. Finally. But something feels missing. Alright, the other tribe leader, Joshua Graham, which is coincidentally another new Canaanite asshole. I'm gonna go against one of the strongest character based on lore. I need some music. What's some good murder music? I'd rather not use my elementary school days edge music. I've got the perfect massacre music in mind. 'After killing everyone, I figured that in the end it would be me versus Joshua, but after looting, I found out that he was the first one that I killed. Very funny and anticlimactic for me. Then after I looted every unique character for their unique gear, I headed back on to the Mojave. This DLC is good on your first playthrough, but subsequent ones are kinda meh. Even the
And so it
characters were
was that a
lacking
conflict
depth
between the new
and
Canaanites and the
they
White
were
Lakes
basically
was finally
uninteresting.
resolved.
The
After a
only
long and troubled life,
interesting characters
Joshua
was
Graham
Joshua
finally
Graham
found
and
rest
Randall
in
Clark.
Zion.
And this DLC also
In
features
the
a
end,
very
his
linear
untroubled
storyline. You
militancy
can't side
accomplished
with the
more
White
than
Legs,
Scout's
or
finest
you can't do
sharpshooters
anything
and
other than
Caesar's wrath.
to
No,
follow Daniel
and
and
with that,
Joshua.
the
The
creator
limited
walked out of the
options
history
and
of the tribes of
freedom
Zion
within this
and
DLC
back to the
warrants
gathering storm
little
of the
to no
Mojave wasteland.
replayability, which means that as an RPG, it kind of fails. I meant as a DLC to New Vegas, this was kind of disappointing, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, comparing to other DLCs, this kind of average, but comparing to the other DLCs of New Vegas, it's kind of underperforming for me. But overall, it's not a bad experience. It's very linear in its experience and lack of events or anything to do in between missions like traveling. But the backstory of Randall Clark is very good, and Joshua Graham's design and character. I guess if I had to summarize Honest Hearts in one sentence, it would be it's a good campaign, but not much replayability. I only killed the main or the unique characters because I wanted to cut the experience short. So that's the Honest Hearts run through. And this was sponsored by Never Got Caught Watching Hentai VPN. Buy a subscription now so you don't get caught looking at feminized deathclaws. And don't forget to use my code. But guys, she's a 200-year-old lolly.